To another live stream on Polkadot social media. Today, I'm very excited to have Pauline from Polkadot Blockchain Academy. Um, Pauline
Hey, Evan.
is, hey, welcome. I just wanted to mention that I have my Mandala Chain hat on, who I know is an alum of PBA, but we'll get to all of that here in a minute. First, let me just introduce you to our viewers. So, Pauline, you are an experienced education leader in the consumer and enterprise space. You have a background both on in-person and online educations, specifically at Holberton Schools and Coursera. And you're now driving the future of blockchain leaders at Polkadot Blockchain Academy, where you're the co-founder and CEO. Did
Yes,
I get it all correct there?
all great. And thanks a lot
Okay,
for having me here.
we're very welcome. We're very glad to have you. I wanted to start off by just asking, we're going to get to all the details here in a bit, but could you just tell us, like in 1 to 2 sentences, what is the Polkadot Blockchain Academy before we really get started?
Sure. The Polkadot Blockchain Academy offers a set of trainings to help aspiring blockchain developers and blockchain enthusiasts understand Web3 blockchain, and obviously, as the name leads, Polkadot as well. We offer different trainings, and again, I insist it's on aspiring Web3 developers. It means that our target audience are Web2 developers and that have not or have just recently made the jump to Web3, as well as blockchain enthusiasts. And we offer a series of programs for a different level and different outcome to help them in their discovery of blockchain.
Got it. Got it. Very cool. And so, as I mentioned in the introduction, you have a background both at Holberton School and at Coursera. So you've kind of been working in education for a long time. What initially drew you in to the education field?
I love this question. I feel very privileged because I grew up in Europe where education is basically free. And I had the opportunity to study in a lot of prestigious institutions, to just spend my time studying without thinking about how can I afford education. And I know this is definitely a privilege. I also had the luxury of studying in different places and in following lectures and applied learning from some of the best tutors in different fields. And moving afterwards to the US and then to the Middle East, unfortunately came to the realization that this is an exception, that I was an exception. And therefore, democratizing access to education became something that is very important and very dear to me. And that's what drew me to the business of education, how to create programs that have high quality, high academic quality, and high outcome and transformative outcomes for the students and learners, but while preserving access and making them as accessible as possible. And that obviously was very clear in the core mission of Coursera through making it accessible online for students who couldn't go to top institutions. And afterwards as well with the democratizing access to bootcamp, dev bootcamp education through Holberton School, moving from one location to democratizing by opening a series of schools and campuses across the globe. And then obviously with the Polkadot Blockchain Academy, where we're doing it for me with the biggest impact and scale, and opening access to quality Web3 education.
Amazing. And so, okay, you got into the education space because you wanted to democratize and make education more accessible. How many years have you been in the education field now in total?
You're aging me, but
No.
over a decade.
Okay.
Well over a decade now.
And in those early years, did you have a mentor, or was there anyone that inspired you to continue on this path?
Yes, I was very fortunate actually to have managers who spend the time to not only look after the work I would produce, but also take the time to consider my personal professional journey and career growth. I have, and those interactions helped me become obviously a better contributor, a better professional, and later on a better manager as well. If I'm thinking about the people that really had a transformational impact for me, I would think one of my manager at Coursera, Leah Belsky, who later on became the chief business officer and board member of Coursera, and afterwards moved to OpenAI, really took the time to actually understand that I was passionate about business development, but also liked a lot managing partnerships and thinking about big concepts. But she also helped me understand that thinking about strategy is amazing, but if you don't couple it with having an impeccable and excellence in execution, you're just a smart talker in the room. So she helped me grow and identify my areas of growth, and not just investing in my areas of comfort, and gave me the opportunity and gave me challenges to fail first, and then improve and succeed, and then really gave me a kickstart for later on careers as executive in business operation, business development, and operations altogether. So I owe her a lot.
Nice. It's always great to have a mentor who can help guide the way. And I think the advice that she gave to you isn't just true in education, but in all industries. It's very easy to just talk the talk, but very few people can actually execute and walk the walk, as it were, and make their talk a reality. So it's quite a big transition to go from the non-Web3, non-blockchain world into education in blockchain and Web3. Like, can you just tell us a bit about how you decided to make that transition, and were there any learnings that you took from your old previous roles into PBA?
Sure. Now it might feel less actually of a big transition, as every blockchain or every aspiring blockchain project almost has an educational program or an academy. But if we move just as recently as 2.5 years ago, close to 3 years ago, Polkadot was the first blockchain to invest in education through the Polkadot Blockchain Academy. For me personally, the jump was actually pretty smooth, as I had the luxury to have a lot of support from the community and the ecosystem. This was a project and a vision from Gav himself, and that had a lot of, that was very thought through of what did we want to achieve, what was the transformation journey for our learners, who was our target audience. So a lot of those discussions, I had the luxury to have those discussions and to have guidance from Polkadot founders himself, as well as a lot of support from Parity Technology, as well as the community and the Polkadot ecosystem at large. So even if I was new into blockchain and being a veteran in education and in both designing educational program and designing the operations to support those, coupled with the support of the community, helped me to accelerate my growth into blockchain. Then obviously that could be possible in any field of industry, but it was also coupled with the idea that the principle of Web3 resonated also personally with me. So coupled with the support of the community, and again, that mission that is dear to me of democratizing access to education. Right. What a better place than building an incredible high quality Web3 and blockchain education program and making it available through OpenGov treasury funding, available to talented Web2 developers and aspiring founders. So all things clicked between previous experience and as well as, again, mentioning its incredible support from the Polkadot community.
Got it. Did I hear you mention that Polkadot was one of the first to invest in Web3 blockchain education? I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Definitely.
Okay.
And it's crazy when we look at it today, because every blockchain, every major blockchain has somehow an education arm, be it an online program, an in-person education, a boot camp that they are rebranding education, and so on. But Gav's vision for me was really what drew me into spearheading these initiatives for the last few years, was really that we can attract talented people to build on Polkadot and to build Polkadot by investing in PR, in events, in amazing swags for developers. That's where everybody was 3 years ago. But it's another bet of actually investing through education. Right. And taking the challenge that instead of fighting for very few talents, for us it was the Rust developers, and competing with other blockchain, we would actually open the gates of Polkadot and of blockchain and teach to non-blockchain developers and attract them because of their knowledge, because of them taking the time to think through what is the opportunity of Web3, what are the opportunities of blockchain, and why Polkadot. And that's how we decided to invest so much on education, and actually, with some very good results, bring new blood and new talents into the Polkadot community.
Got it. I want to just take a step back really quick, because we were talking about your transition into Web3, and I know you had a lot of support from Parity and the Web3 Foundation, and to make the transition as smooth as possible. But surely there were some challenges coming into Web3. I mean, maybe it's like how quickly the tech is evolving, or just how there's new languages coming on all the time. Like, tell us about some of the challenges.
Yes, it's exactly that. You're spot on. The tech is sometimes evolving. So in our vision for teaching Polkadot or teaching new talent to come on Polkadot and on blockchain, there is obviously the part where we teach about the opportunities of Web3. And we decided to spend a lot of time, on teaching the concept, teaching cryptography, teaching economic principle, game theory. Why is it important? Governance. How those design decisions have an impact? Those conversations evolve, but the concepts are pretty standard, and we can even say evergreen. So we can teach them once, and they will stay valid for a couple of cohorts or a couple of classes. But for the rest, the tech is constantly evolving. And I'm simplifying here because some of the great researchers of the Web3 Foundations are actually continuously reinventing and researching even in crypto economy and governance, obviously. But when we move to the programming part of the teaching, there the technology is constantly evolving. And what we used to teach in our first cohort at the University of Cambridge is totally obsolete. When we talk about grandpa and communities, those are concepts that, or the foundation of XCM. Today, we are moving our courses, obviously, on Polkadot 2.0, on Jam. What are the impacts? Where are we looking? Still, the fundamentals stay valid, and those are crucial conversation, and we will not compromise on that. But the programming part is constantly evolving. That's a challenge, but the way we went about it was by taking a quite innovative approach in education of working directly with the builders. Okay. So instead of hiring professional teachers, that's what usually an education initiative would do because of cost of developers and availabilities of developers. Instead, we enjoyed the tremendous support from Parity Technology, the Web3 Foundation, and the community, and we had access to the best. We brought the builders on stage, and we had those creating the OGs of Polkadot coming to teach our students. And by partnering with them and having them own the curriculum, we could ensure that our curriculum is constantly relevant because they can explain, and sometimes it even happened that they explained to the students things that were not even pushed to production yet, or they had informed conversation about what's coming up, why are we moving, why are we developing. They could actually be the best ambassadors on those technical decisions and bring their knowledge directly to the students without an intermediate faculty or professional faculty, which gave to the students the first source of knowledge, but also an incredible network for their future technical discussions.
Right. I mean, who better to be teaching these concepts than the devs that are building in it every single day, right? I mean, it's truly a unique opportunity to learn from some of these engineers at Parity who are, best in the world. And it's funny that you mentioned, just some of the concepts that you were teaching in the first cohort a couple of years ago are like already becoming sort of obsolete. And I think it just underscores the importance of constantly learning when you're in an innovative field like Web3 or blockchain. You always have to be learning and staying ahead of the curve. So that's why we're so glad that you are operating PBA to keep people getting educated. I just want to go back to, as CEO, you are both sort of a visionary and a leader, but also an operator. You have to make day-to-day decisions. How do you sort of balance those two things?
I think that tension is actually the fun of being the CEO. It's the privilege in a way of being the CEO. The tension is obviously in terms of mind space and time. It's hard when you're heading a company that is constantly producing and introducing new products, fast learning products to the community. It's hard sometimes to take a step back and actually think more than just a wave away or 2 courses away, and take the time to reflect on what does the community need? Are we the best position to answer this need? And if so, how? And where do we want to drive our journey for the PBA? It's at the same time, without this tension, I don't think there is strategy alone without being coupled with execution will drive us only so far. And there is a risk to be totally disconnected from what the community needs. By being forced to actually execute and spend time on day-to-day operations, this keeps me very in tune with the community, with the main players of the communities, with our students. What are their needs? Where do we see that actually resonates with our students or with our faculty? What are the pushback or the asks that we get from the community? And this has been actually very informative also on the strategy level, when we get multiple asks from the community to be not only focused on building core developers and helping train core developers, but also think about DAPS training, that this is definitely a need in more and more of our projects, or that our students don't need to, again, only be core developers, but need to know how the full process of launching a project on Polkadot, or positive reinforcement feedback about this is so great to have talents being hired in the community that actually think in big concept as well, but also know how to implement and program, but have the right automatism and the right concept and ask the right question around the design decision of a specific project, governance, and so on. Yeah. So being both in the education field helps also inform the strategy. The challenge is still to be able to block sometimes, to take those inputs, take those conversations, invite the right people into the brainstorming, and just pause sometime and write it down. So I'm playing with time zones sometimes, which allows me to be a little bit deferred, or some trips, or just blocking time and physical space to have the time to stop and reflect. But I do think that this tension between strategy and operation is actually where the ideas live, and not only in strategy.
Got it. Before I go on to the next question, I just want to say to the viewers, we have like 10,000 people watching right now. If you have a question for Pauline about PBA or PBAX, which we're going to get to here in a minute, or just a question about a career in Web3, please just ask your question in the chat, whether on X or LinkedIn or YouTube, and we'll have a little bit of time at the end for Pauline to answer your questions. Okay, just moving along. So as you mentioned in the beginning, PBA was developed to nurture the best of blockchain talent. How does PBA distinguish itself from other Web3 education initiatives?
Actually, before talking about how PBA distinguishes itself, I think it's important to stress that people learn in different ways.
Okay.
And the PBA took an approach of being an academy and not just playing on the brand academy, or I know there are lots of academies these days, but took a point of view of teaching the students at an academic level, not being a vocational or only an applied training, not being a boot camp. But I went, and I'm very happy we had this point of view, and it's proven to be really successful in training very high quality talent and bringing them into our ecosystem. But I want to also to recognize that other methodologies also work. Some people need to have a piecemeal approach to education, a couple of minutes a day, to have like a video and a quick multiple choice questionnaires to check that they've learned. Others will need to have a much longer education, whereas or to have direct tutoring, to be working in groups, and so on. Being effective has we can be effective in education in a lot of different ways, and learners each learn in a different way, and also have different availabilities and abilities for learning. This being said, the PBA is not your traditional bootcamp, basically. we decided to start very high in the academic requirement to make the barrier to entry high with a very demanding entrance exam, and afterwards to be the opposite of easy, basically, but still fun, or at least our students and graduates say it's fun once they graduate. To have intense lecture hours, to bring the students together with those very talented builders of Polkadot for 6 days a week of lectures, often 10 hours a day of lectures and assignments, to have this very academic vision where we don't go directly into the applied learning and to checking boxes with skills and at the end having a final project. This is not who we are. We go more as a university program on steroids, where we have a lecturer that goes through the fundamental concepts, and then we have applied assessment, and we go into a lot of conversation-based also and lecture-based learning, lots of live coding for the student to follow the thought process and obviously the code process of their instructors. But we are designed to be a difficult program for people who want to challenge themselves with the difficult question and the principle of blockchain, and why is a blockchain decentralized, why another one could not be considered decentralized, what is Polkadot, what are the decisions behind it, how to and why, and how it's actually impacting the rest. So it's not just about applied learning, although our students are obviously going through the implementation and are ready to work when they graduate. We decided our point of view, and I think our core differentiation is that we are real academic training,
Right.
spending the time into the concept before revisiting them in the applied learning, and also having the luxury to go really deep with our students. Now, this was our key differentiator, together with bringing the builders on stage, which I haven't seen other programs doing it just yet. Now, we also recognize that although it's great to be different and to be so hard and to be really training the top talents, we needed to be a little bit more accessible. And that's where things become a little bit more blurry with differentiation with other programs. And so clearly influenced by my experience at Coursera, the online education platform, as well as my colleague Rada from the Web3 Foundation's experience with building courses for edX, we decided to launch a pre-course to our in-person program, which is called PBAX, and then to target different audiences and have the aspiring blockchain enthusiasts as well as the blockchain developers go first into the fundamental online in an easier program that gives them also, thanks to the online format, the luxury to go to at their own pace, as well as being accessible from anywhere they are in the world, and keep this very advanced, very intensive for the in-person with our PBA campus.
Got it. I'm actually going to pull up the website here, if that's okay with you, for PBAX, because I think it was just launched maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. At least that's when we started talking about it. So I'm not going to play the video, but it is very cool. And you can see some of the instructors from Parity that you mentioned. Sean, everyone knows Sean Tabrizi, as well as Keon, who's one of the Polkadot fellows. I believe both of them are Polkadot fellows, in fact. So you really are learning from like the best and brightest, right? I mean, it's like you can't ask. And also Gav has been known to show up to the in-person Polkadot PBAs. So whether you're doing PBAX or the regular in-person PBA, I mean, your instructors are incredible. So you were just saying that PBAX is like sort of the prequel, if you will, to the in-person classes. So is it meant to be a little bit easier? Is it meant to be like just for people that are even non-technical, or?
Correct. It's designed to be easier. It's designed for both developers and blockchain enthusiasts. So it still goes in depth into the concepts in economics and governance, cryptography, introduction to blockchain, as well as introduction to Polkadot, SDK, and so on. But it stays at a more intro level. So getting really strong fundamentals before going to the advanced part that is reserved for developers on site.
Okay. So how many students, for example, do you think would matriculate from PBAX into PBA? Do you have a target, or is it kind of, we'll just see when we get there?
That's going to be our gold metrics. How
Okay.
effective is PBAX to help talent join the PBA campus? We don't know yet. We have already a couple of hundreds of students registered to the PBAX first cohort in January, and admissions are still going on. And we'll see at the end in February how many graduate, and then in March how many are joining the upcoming campus in Switzerland.
Okay, amazing. I started to play the video here. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I would encourage everyone to visit the PBA website and explore everything for yourself and watch the video. So I'm just going to stop sharing now and just come back to here. All right. So we've talked about PBAX. Do you want to continue down that road, or do you want to kind of talk about something else? I'll let you decide which route you want to go down.
I'm happy to talk about our different programs as long as you want.
Yeah. Okay, let's stay with PBAX for the moment. So you can learn at your own pace, which I think is something very important for people that already have a job, or maybe they're in some different sort of school or learning environment. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when you sign up, do you have a certain amount of time that you have to complete the course, or is it kind of like you just sign up and it's open-ended? Maybe you could tell us a bit about the schedule.
Sure. So we took we decided to do it still cohort-based. And there is a lot of the most recent research, and most of the EdTech options today are actually going back to having a classroom experience or a cohort experience also online, versus just having a learn as you want subscription model, because, and it's should be obvious, but the industry has evolved back and forth. Students actually do enjoy having peer feedback and having a cohort when they learn, and having someone to talk to when they go through an assignment or when they go through a new concept. Here, we wanted to replicate as much as possible, knowing that it's not totally possible to replicate online an experience that is designed for in-person. But we wanted to create that space for collaboration, and that space for interaction within the student community, and as well as with tutors or TAs and sometimes faculty. And so to do that, we decided to have the courses online, accessible online. Students are expected to spend between 6 to 8 hours a week to grasp the content. It's the recommended personal investment.
6 to 8 hours per week.
6 to 8 hours per week.
Does that include the watching of the videos, or is that like studying on the side as well? So spending 6 to 8 hours watching. Okay.
Altogether, 6 to 8 hours of personal commitment and personal work, including video, reading materials, and everything. But they can choose when they spend those 6 to 8 hours. If someone needs to cram into the weekend, or if they have time early in the morning before family obligation, or late in the evening after they come back from work, etc. They can choose when to place those time. The only exception is for live lectures. We're bringing some key members of our community and top faculty to actually give live lectures. Those obviously have a time limit, but they will be recorded and available for our students later on if they miss it because of time zone or other requirements. Now, there is that access. So this is the flexibility and the accessibility component. But as mentioned, students do enjoy, or we've seen research in the industry from students enjoying and needing the pressure from and the help from their peers to actually meet their milestone. I don't know about you, but for me, many times I register to a course or to the gym or something else, but because I don't have someone with me to push me or a deadline, actually just go and expire sometime, and creating some kind of level of guilt. Here we wanted to not play on that, and just give the student the support they need. And by having a cohort of students that will go through the same content during the same week, we're actually making sure that there will always be someone answering in the forum, both from the faculty side, but also from the student side. They can share their question. They know that they're not asking a question when they're on week 4, when all the other students are still on week 2. So we wanted to create that network effect and that companionship in the study, even though it's online. And that's why we decided to do an online cohort-based learning.
Okay. Very cool. I actually agree with you, and I like the concept of having it cohort based because, as you said, I think a lot of people will sign up for something, and then if they're not pressured, or maybe pressure is the wrong word, but if they don't feel the camaraderie of like doing it together as a group, or they don't have someone, pushing them, they can just it can kind of fall on the wayside. So I like this idea of doing it as a cohort. When is the submission deadline if people want to get involved to sign up?
So, yep, the cohort is starting on January 6th. So up to January 6th is the deadline. Just if you want to secure a
Yeah.
space, a spot, better to do it early because we have a limited number of seats in the first cohort, but officially anytime until January 6th.
Okay, so the first cohort starts on January 6th. So it's a good New Year's resolution for everyone out there who's told themselves they want to educate themselves about Web3 or blockchain. If you are looking to start a career in Web3, this is a perfect place to start. So I encourage you to go to the website, pbax.polkadot.academy. There is a small sign-up fee. I think it's $100. It's really not that much considering the quality of the content that you'll be learning. But PBA is not really they're not doing this for profit. This is basically just to ensure that you're getting, serious folks who actually want to learn, and you're not just going to get a bunch of people signing up, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, nothing to add. It's exactly that.
Okay. But I hear there is a giveaway being run for a couple of spots into PBAX. Do you want to maybe tell us about that?
Sure. We're very happy to be partnering with Jay and the Kusamarian for a giveaway for a couple of seats into PBAX. Please visit the Kusamarian Twitter X account to get more details. We're very happy to partner with them as they've been one of our key supporter and big partner since the very beginning of PBA back to 2022 for our first wave in Cambridge.
So for everyone watching, if you want a chance to win, all you need to do is go to the Kusamarian on X or Twitter. That's at the Kusamarian, and then retweet this post here and share below what you have done for Polkadot this week and why you'd like to join PBAX. And you could be the lucky winner of one of the 2 free spots to PBAX. So everyone that's watching, go to the Kusamarian's Twitter and go down to this post for more information. That's really cool that Jay and the Kusamarian team have decided to run that giveaway with you. I think that's really awesome. Okay, let's maybe shift gears a little bit. You mentioned that the first cohort ever was in Cambridge, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another cohort in Berkeley, California, UC Berkeley, my home state, California. Tell us about these partnerships with these IRL, in real life universities.
Yes, so we've had actually a few cohorts already. Every time with university partners, the idea was to go to high demand markets. Europe was the first one with the UK, then we moved to Latin America with Buenos Aires, University of Buenos Aires, then UC Berkeley for the US, and then a big focus on Asia for the last 2 cohorts in Hong Kong with PolyU Hong Kong and in Singapore with NUS. Every time the motivation was similar, looking at a high demand market for blockchain education, where we do have also an academic partner. It was very important for us to partner with top universities where we can both target their students as well as in their community, alumni and students at large, and work together also with their faculty. And the idea behind those partnerships was both to bring the university quality to the classroom, thanks to working sometime with their faculty when possible to deliver some of the content, having access to their top students by doing the academy on site with them. But it was also with the idea of keeping the content with them. So not only do we partner with them during the PBA, but looking together at ways where they can use the content of the PBA afterwards, after we leave, and the partnership continues after the wave ends, after graduation, and they can continue using the PBA content, which is obviously open source, and integrate it into their existing bachelor or master program. So looking at a long-lasting partnership with those top universities.
Got it. Very cool. And we do have a special guest joining us now. Their ears must have been burning because we were just talking about Jay and the Kusumerian. And just like the bat signal up in the sky, he has magically appeared. There he is.
Situation was similar. Looking at
Oh, okay. Jay, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, guys. How's it going?
We're doing well. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it's been a great stream, guys. This is exciting stuff.
We were just talking about how thankful we are that the Kusumerian is teaming up with PBA to give away 2 free spots to PBAX. And we're explaining the rules. I'll pull it up. Jay, I'll let you speak here while I pull up the Kusumerian post. So why don't you take the floor here for a second?
Sure. Well, we're thankful for the opportunity to give these spots away. I know that there's a lot of people who would love to do this first cohort, and maybe they're questioning whether or not they're the right fit or whether the fee is something they want to pay. So all we're doing here is giving people the opportunity to, one, show off what they've done for Polkadot this week. We obviously want to give these valuable spots to people who are spending their time working to make the Polkadot ecosystem better. And then the second part is to talk about why they believe they would be a good fit for this cohort and what they're going to do with the new knowledge they're going to gain. So everybody who submits, and I think there's only a handful of people who have submitted here. We're going to put those submissions before the Kus DAO. So there's 89 members of the Kus DAO, and we'll have an internal vote to decide who is most deserving of these 2 slots. And we just expect that these 2 people will finish this course and have an accelerated journey through Polkadot from here on out. I think it's an amazing opportunity that PBAX has put together, and we're very happy to help spread the word.
Nice. I can't agree more. This is such an amazing opportunity. I mean, just think for 4 weeks and $100, you can basically stress test yourself. Like, am I right for this industry? Is this interesting to me? Do I see myself having a future in Web3 or a career? And it's just a small investment of time and money, really, to answer all those questions. So, such a great opportunity. Pauline, did you want to?
We hope also, so this is the first time we're launching this program online. And again, repeating it as Jay is here, we're very grateful for our collaboration with the Kusumerian, which has been a collaboration since the very beginning of the PBA back in Cambridge in the summer of 2022. We're very excited also to be opening the gate virtually of the PBA. We are conscious that not everyone has the time and the ability to spend 5 weeks on site, even if it's to meet and to hear Sean, Kian, Gav, and others. We're really building Polkadot, and every time we hear that as one of the highlights of the learning journey from our students was to meet and hear and learn directly from these geniuses. But we're also aware that not everyone has the luxury and the investment or the ability to just spend five weeks like this. So the hypothesis was for us, there is a way to make this experience also a stellar experience, but online. And we took the point of view of doing the beginning of the program, of doing the intro session, and opening it not only for the developers, which would have been the obvious and maybe the easy choice, but also to test it for and to open it for blockchain enthusiasts. So it means that the assignments are not code-based. It means that it's really for everyone who is really, truly interested in blockchain and in Polkadot and wants to spend some time at their own pace and at their comfort of their home or wherever they are at that moment, but still have a place for interacting with the Polkadot community as well as with some of the top faculty, just in another setting.
Amazing. So I put up the Kusumerian's Twitter here. So for everyone watching, if you want to go and participate, follow the Kus, follow Academy, Polkadot Blockchain Academy. I'll put their Twitter up as well. It's Academy Polkadot. But yeah, Jay, thanks so much for hopping on. I know you're busy. I think you're in the middle of a workshop or a retreat this week. So
Yeah.
you're welcome to stick around, but I know you're busy. So if you got to go, that we totally understand. But thanks again for helping promote.
I'll head out, but I just want to tell people one more thing. I'm not sure we mentioned it yet, but I know that the content, the quality of the content of PBAX is not only top notch because of the instructors, and you know, like Paulina said, we brought the Coos to many PBAs. I've had the pleasure of sitting in lectures, had my mind blown multiple times, had blockchain, had Polkadot described to me in a new way that changed my models. But not only are these teachers now going to be here on your computer or wherever you're watching this stream, but the quality of these videos is very, very high. They didn't stick the teachers in front of their webcams at home. They brought them all together, had a high quality production studio, and it was all filmed and put together by Simon and his team from Key Pictures.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So if you're familiar with the Behind the Code series that we've been broadcasting on the Coos, the same team put this material together. And so it's going to be engaging, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to stick in your mind. And I just want to thanks again for all the work PBA is doing and for having me on the stream.
Thanks so much, Jay. Appreciate your time.
Cool. See you guys.
See ya. Take care. Wow. Very cool to have Jay join. And it's funny he mentioned the quality of the videos, because when I was looking through the website, I saw some of the footage as well. And it reminded me of Masterclass, which is a platform that I subscribe to, and it's very high quality. So, I mean, as Jay said, it's not just these instructors at home in their, bedroom filming on a webcam. It is like high quality stuff, very professional. We're kind of coming up on time. We've got about 15 minutes left. Someone asked in the questions, Pauline, they had a question for you. They said, what is like the typical route of a student that gets into PBA? Like when they graduate, what is it that they do? And I know, as I mentioned, I'm wearing the Mandala Chain hat here. There's a lot of alumni from PBA that have gone in to build great things in the Polkadot ecosystem. Do you want to kind of maybe touch on that?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we need to be speaking about our graduates. They are the ones who truly make the academy. The typical route of our graduate or our students after they finish the PBA programs, our students are really thinkers and builders. So we have, and often they usually do both. We have some that have continued and joined existing projects, be it Parity Technology, Web3 Foundation, or existing parachains in the ecosystem. A lot of them have gone to Moonbeam, Polymech, and other very high impact projects. Another big chunk of our students, I want to say, so 2/3 of our students join existing projects as developers or a mix of developers and business acumen together. The other third of our students actually use the PBA to test some concepts, sometimes revisit their plan and launch their project, either launch or grow their project through the PBA. PBA gives them obviously the technical knowledge and foundation, but also the access to the community, both the community of faculty, of technical experts and builders that can help them technically, but also access to the broader community, be it other founders, investors, or high impact individual in the Polkadot community and ecosystem. So when we talk about our successful alumni and a typical route, it's hard to first think about the typical route of a PBA student, because a lot of them are just they carve their own path as they graduate. But I know people love to hear about the stories of our founders, and we're very proud. We're so proud of them. We have students that just graduated from one of our PBA, already had were very strong developers and more or less experience with Polkadot or familiar with Polkadot, and then jump on core time and develop some of the most exciting core time project with Region X, Sergey being the founder and a PBA alumni.
We had him on a live stream, actually. We had Region X on a live stream, yeah.
Yes, we're so proud of him. And from the same cohorts from PBA3 in Berkeley, we also had Aurora from co-founder at Elastic, another core time project. We have also founders of Mandala Chain, who came and used the PBA actually to better understand how they could use Polkadot, the blockchain aspect of their project. We had also other projects like Laos to do bridgeless minting, or Excavate to bring blockchain into the real use case of real estate, bringing more security and accessibility of in the real estate world. Kudos, Polkadot study, idea labs, and so on. It's hard actually to think about what are the most impactful or what are the ones we are the proudest of. But typical journey of a PBA graduate is also staying with the alumni network. We're so proud of the students, and after the intense learning journey and those incredible connections they build with their other fellow students and with the faculty, they usually stay engaged. And we really see an active community that continues to support each other after graduation, and routes for each other and help each other technically. Also, we see on our Discord question and answers to help each other. Also brings together some business opportunities. Some of them join forces, and just it's beautiful to see actually the vibrant community that the students get when they graduate and that they continue to nurture.
That's amazing. So not only do many of the students go on to found their own projects or work on critical, pieces of design for Polkadot Network, but there's also an alumni sort of network and in-person meetups and so on. So, that it doesn't just end with education. You get all of these supporting resources well after you graduate.
Exactly.
I'm just scanning some of the comments here. Guillermo asks if Rust language is a must-have if you want to participate in PBAX.
No, it's not. Guillermo, actually, you're welcome to join and to register for PBAX, even if you don't know programming. Rust is a requirement for our campus course, the in-person course coming up in March in Switzerland, but it's not for PBAX.
Cool. All right, understood. So you don't need to be very technical to participate in PBAX. It's sort of an introductory course, as we've mentioned a couple of times now. Where do you see Polkadot Blockchain Academy in, let's say, 5 years from now? Like, what is your vision for the future of PBA?
I hope that in 5 years from now, we'll have trained thousands of contributors to the Polkadot ecosystem and beyond. I'm dreaming of teaching not only Polkadot, but blockchain at large, or embracing obviously Jam, and opening more our focus also to other ecosystem and other ecosystem together with Polkadot, but also other developers from other ecosystem to teach them about the opportunity of Jam, Polkadot, and more. Bringing also courses going in the direction of both expanding on both sides of our offering, both into the blockchain enthusiast and non-technical routes. So having more of those courses, maybe with a focus on marketing, a focus on other ways to be approaching Web3 and thinking about Web3. We'd love to have a course dedicated on governance at large, or having more options as well, not just for developers, but also going on the other side, more and more advanced course. I would love to design a course for the graduates of PBA that continue their developers' journey and specialize into even more tracks. So I'd love for the PBA to bring even more content and learning options for our students, as well as obviously increase our scale and reach to facilitate for even many more developers and enthusiasts to come to the Polkadot ecosystem and beyond.
That's incredible. And I really think that you're going to achieve all those goals, because what you've managed to do in just a few years is really incredible. I mean, from the first cohorts in Cambridge now to this groundbreaking online PBAX program. It's really, really exciting to see all this. How does it make you feel to be, at the helm of this?
Thanks.
Surely it's challenging. It's challenging, surely, but also rewarding, I'm sure.
It's incredibly rewarding. It's also rewarding to be working with the PBA team. It's a small but very mighty team, and it's humbling to be working with them. It's also, and to see how much we've accomplished together in so little time. It's humbling also to see the help we continue to get from the community, obviously from the faculty who dedicate some time out of their day-to-day job to give back and give to the community, and pass on their knowledge to the community. It's also humbling to see projects from the Polkadot ecosystem sending their new hires to be onboarded at the PBA. So it's a big proof of trust, and hiring from our PBA grads, so also incredible trust from the community. But what feels the best, actually, and the most humbling, is seeing our alumni, seeing what they do afterwards, where they take their learning and the responsibility that they have from their knowledge, and when they apply it to continue to grow Polkadot and bring it into real life use cases. It's just incredibly humbling, and meeting them. And when they thank us, I'm actually thanking them, because they give me they make me proud, basically.
Right.
And I'm indebted to them when they use our PBA training to build something incredible afterwards.
Well, it really is a two-way street. You can't have, a very successful ecosystem like Polkadot without great educators, but also great students. And we're also thankful for the work that PBA is doing for the ecosystem and for just Web3 in general, right? Pauline, I think we could talk for hours. We literally have so much to cover. We should probably set up another live stream, next month or something, because I think there's a lot for us to discuss. Maybe after you've had a couple of weeks with PBAX up and running, we can do another live stream to see how it's been going.
That would be fun.
That would be really fun. Let me just put up the website again for PBAX for everyone that's watching. It's pbax.polkadot.academy. You should all go check it out right now. See the little teaser video. Check out some of the instructors, the quality of the content. Understand what you can learn in just 4 weeks and for $100. I mean, there's really no better bargain out there, I think, right? Just think, if you can invest 4 weeks of your time, and you said it was 6 to 8 hours per week. If you can just invest that for 4 weeks, it really could change your life. You could open up a whole new career path for yourself. If you've been working in Web 2 or some other industry and you really want to get into blockchain and Web 3, this is the perfect introductory for that. So I encourage everyone to go check out pbax.polkadot.academy. You're going to be learning from the best instructors in the world when it comes to blockchain, literally. Polkadot fellows, engineers from Parity, and much more. So, Pauline, I'll give you the closing words here.
Thanks so much, Evan. I hope some of those listening to us today found this inspiring and are going to register for our upcoming cohort in January. Don't wait. We have limited seats for this first cohort. There will be more cohort, but don't wait. Why waiting when you know that if you graduate, you'll get some of the knowledge that you need for afterwards applying for the PBA campus, and maybe continue your journey fully into Polkadot. Hope to see our listeners as students in one hour of our offerings, online or in person. And thank you so much, Evan, for this talk. It was really fun, and really appreciated the opportunity to showcase our work.
And thanks for joining. And I just wanted to reiterate what you said. Do not wait. Don't wait, until the holidays to check it out. Literally go to the website right now. I'm going to put it up one last time, and show your interest and register, because there are very limited spaces. And if you miss this train, you're going to maybe have to wait for the second cohort in a few months' time. There's never a better time to start than now. So go check it out. And with that,